What's up, witches? I'm Luna. Welcome to my channel, to my newcomers, to regulars, to my patrons, most especially to patron Roxanne Pedersen, who bought me the deck that I'm about to unbox for you. Let's look at it. This is Trick or Treat Tarot by Barbara Moore with illustrations by Jonathan Hunt. What a perfect thing for Samhain season, right? This is a Llewellyn title, and you see the box here, 78 card deck, 216 page full color booklet. When black cats prowl and pumpkins gleam, shuffle the cards on Halloween. Pardon me. Welcome, goblins and ghouls, to a tarot deck of frights and fun, disguises and delights, divination and daring adventure. Featuring the irresistible illustrations of Jonathan Hunt and the expertise of best-selling author Barbara Moore, this Rider-Waite base deck is easy to use and includes a full-color guidebook for exploring the cards. Trick or Treat Tarot provides exactly what you need to confront fear, peer into the future, and create a unique identity that suits you every day, not just on the spookiest night. Includes an afterword by Mickey Mueller, best-selling author of Llewellyn's Little Book of Halloween. Oh, how cool! All right, there's some images, and we have our snappy box, which I always love. So we can see the images. And I want to say something. After reading that intro on the back, oh, look, there's two magnets. You can see. I never noticed before. So often what happens at the end of October just all gets lumped in with Halloween, and there are so many different levels to it, from Samhain and celebrations of the dead, the harvest, New Year, and then we've got Halloween, and trick or treat being a big part of that, which also has some pretty deep cultural roots. But I'm assuming this deck is going to look at it from our modern day culture. So here's this, as Llewellyn does. Oh, looky here. Glorious, full color, glossy, huge images. It's amazing. And you can see I've already tucked in my little note that came from Roxanne, and I've removed the plastic here, but I've not actually gone through the deck. And I will tell you that I did look at someone else's flip through of this. And then I slapped it on my wish list, and boom, it showed up. Awesome. So we have the little ribbon pull, and we have an image down there looking very much like Elvira, I think. What an amazing woman she is. Snap. Okay. Let's take a little look at the book. And I want to say that I checked my microphone extensively before I started shooting because of the horrible sound on my last two videos. Hopefully this is going to be much easier on your ears. And I also do note someone said when I was zoomed in that close, my camera just wasn't capable of focusing even in high def. So I'm not going to go in that close so you can see the images clearly. All right. So we see this wonderful purple and orange combo, Trick or Treater's Companion, it says. And the copyright on this is 2022, so this is brand spanking new. Let's see how long the introduction is. Very long, a very long introduction. Let's see if we can get an encapsulation. Trick or treats, frights and fun, disguises and delights. These are a few reasons adults and kids alike love Halloween. On this night, we create our own identity, and depending on our decorating abilities, our world. If you aren't already familiar with Tarot, you'll soon learn that this is exactly what the Magician card tells us we are capable of every day of the year. A predisposition to creating new realities is one of many qualities that Tarot and Halloween share. In addition, both expose us to potential fear in a way that allows us to face it in a safe environment. Both allow us to experiment with ideas of who we are. Both have traditions that connect us to larger communities. And finally, both open a door to that place so many of us are curious about, the other world. Okay, I'm going to go to the last paragraph now. Before you can, so talking about ritual, building connections and traditions. Let's see. Transformations. The kind of like the opportunity that Halloween gives us to confront the concept of death. Before you can use your cards in these great ritualistic ways, you must learn about them, and that's what comes next. First, we'll cover some general knowledge about tarot cards, where the meanings come from. I can pretend, but we all know. Where their meanings come from and how to use them. Next, we'll jump into what each card means. Finally, we'll explore some spreads, which are the layouts that are used to perform tarot readings. A costume isn't required, but if it puts you in the mood, go get dressed and meet me back here to begin our tarot journey. I like that little invitation. So the basics, learning how to use your tarot cards is like creating a costume. First, you come up with a concept or general idea for your costume. You don't have details yet, begin mapping out where you're going. With tarot, we start with a map of the deck. The deck structure makes the idea of learning 78 cards less daunting. True. Chunking it down is what we do. Okay, what is a tarot deck? Where do card meanings come from? Starting off as a card game in the 1400s. Oh, the wind is blowing through the woods and the leaves are just raining down. You know, one of the great things about shooting in mid to late October is I no longer have green light coming at me from my window. I have orange light. Okay, what questions can you ask tarot? How to do a reading. Oh, she talks about Rachel. My favorite answer to the first question. All right, let's see these questions. If tarot is a machine that spits out truth, does it mean it can answer any question? Since I'm writing this book instead of enjoying life on a beach living on my lottery winnings, no, tarot cannot answer any question. To talk about what tarot does, we must talk about two important questions. How or why does tarot work, and what do you believe? I don't know what that was. My favorite answer to the first question comes from one of our time's greatest tarot scholars, Rachel Pollack. When asked about this topic, she said, "Why does tarot work? I see you ask a two-part question. Why is a question that has been explored by great philosophers for thousands of years. We cannot begin to answer that question here. To answer your second question, does it work? The answer is yes." Okay, that was kind of weird. Then we have how to do a reading. We have into the majors. Okay, so that's pretty succinct in the beginning. Let's zoom in, but not too far. As we see the backs, we've got these wonderful orange and purple things, orange, purple, and green, great Halloween colors. All right. So on the Fool, and you know, we see this context of trick-or-treating and you know, the opportunity to stay within that context with the images for a thematic deck. And we were off swinging because here's a kid getting ready to go out trick-or-treating, holding their little empty pumpkin. So we haven't done it yet. There's a black cat that leads the way instead of the dog. So this kid is getting ready to take the leap into the experience of trick-or-treating. We don't have, oh, that's the Fool. Here's the Magician. So now we have like the conjurer type of magician. We've got the tools. We have a cup and a wand and a sword and a pentacle. We've got all of the those essential elements of the magician, so we can see that we're going to follow the traditional pretty closely, just changing the context to trick-or-treating. Here's the High Priestess, and she's a reader. How perfect is that? See the pomegranate and the curtains, the purple curtain and the silver curtain. So there's the allusion to the two pillars that stand behind the High Priestess. Here's the Empress with a baby strapped to her and giving out candy, and she's a kangaroo. How perfect! Okay, perfect is an absolute. You can't have how perfect. It's perfect. Here's the Emperor, who's the headless dude with a pumpkin lantern, and he's leading the way with his sword upheld. And we've got the Hierophant, a storyteller. These are excellent. These are very well imagined. And here's the Lovers. Oh my God, if that isn't Morticia and Gomez. Beautiful. Then we've got the Chariot is the Cat in the Hat with thing 1 and thing 2. I don't know what C and J are. I have to know. C and J. Are those Hokmah, and are those pillars of the, Kabbalah? I'm not sure. It doesn't mention them. Kind of a creepy mask there, though, truthfully. Look at this. Yee! And here's the Strength card. So we've got Beauty and the Beast. Taming that beast. Then we have the Hermit. From on high. Showering riches from on high and wisdom with his lamp. This is wonderful. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, that's interesting. So is this like matrixy stuff? Very interesting. I would not, if you removed the title of this, would you know that that's the Wheel of Fortune? I would not in any way know that that's the wheel. Okay. And again, I have to go. I'm sorry. I assume you're as curious as I am, so let's take a look. Generally, we know what kind of candy we have based on the wrapper. Okay, so it is matrix with the red and the blue. It's nice when life is labeled clearly, but that doesn't happen as often as it should. Most of the time, we don't really know, which is one reason people use tarot to tell the future. But sometimes we must make a choice without reliable information, and then it is really just the luck of the draw. When this card comes up, be grateful because you're in for some good luck. So, the luck of the draw, that's a really kind of flimsy connection there for Wheel of Fortune, if you ask me. Here's Justice. Somebody dressed as Lady Liberty, and somebody is like, what, Daddy Warbucks? Justice. That's a very interesting image, that this old white dude with a bag of money is holding Liberty's hand. The Hanged Man. He's playing Dracula. And look at is that a phone down there? That's hilarious. Providing some light. And here's Death. So we are aware through this whole thing that it's all a masquerade. He's offering a white rose. Here's Temperance. I would know that's Temperance, and she's doing readings too. And here's the Devil. Oh my God. So we have a nod to all the sexy costumes that drive me insane. Yes, Halloween, the time when grown-ass women need to freeze their asses off in order to be a sexy ghost or whatever. The Tower. Can we have some of those costumes for men, please, maybe? Here's the Tower. Frankenstein's monsters throwing the switch to blow it up, or a guy in the costume of Frankenstein's monster. Here's the Star. That's lovely. Kind of balancing, graceful, hopeful. And here's the Moon. With the dogs and water. Okay, so some of the associations here are kind of loose, so I'm not going to get lost in them. Here's the Sun. A little sunflower about to get cake. That's awesome. Judgment. So you can see that these are decorations. She's sitting on a little ladder that's propped behind this tombstone. You can see the wire on her halo and the hand sticking up out of the ground. That's great. And then we have the Fool showing up again in the World card. This is awesome. And you can see the little lantern or the little pumpkin is full. Look at this. On this one, we don't see a mouth, and he looks kind of forlorn, they. And here we have a very clear smile. So the World card shows something coming to completion and having everything you need. Ace of Wands. Now let's see if we don't have pip cards, and we've got zombies. The Two of Wands, she's got brains on top of them. The Three of Wands. Do we get the image of ships coming in or launching a plan? Not really. But, you know, this is one of those decks. When you get any kind of reimagining context decks, I think, or fandom decks that tend to be pippish, it's you should go in knowing that you need a basic foundation in standard tarot. Here's the Four of Wands, celebration, and the Five, a tangle. We see that. And look at the spider with the webs. Yes, tangled web indeed. And here's the Six, victory. So look at how it's a costume, because we got this dude's feet sticking out the bottom of the horse. So the whole horse is part of the costume. That's fun. Great costume ideas too. Here's the Seven, whack-a-mummy. Oh my God. And all the wands flying at him. And here's the Eight. They're little bats carrying wands. So that one doesn't have a costumey thing. Here's the Nine. And look at how they have set up these wands to put a boundary around their candy, and they're guarding the candy. That's great. Here's the 10. Quasimodo challenged. Page of Wands. Look at the blowing a little horn that's got these fiery looking streamers. Great costume ideas, you guys. Here's the Knight of Wands. Go. Hey-ya! Here's the Queen with her cauldron, and then we've got the King. Oh my God, that's awesome. I want that chair. Ace of Cups. I have cups like that. Here's the Two, kind of Rennie couple. Romeo and Juliet forever, it says on the tree. Here's the Three. These look like the Hocus Pocus witches. So we do have allusions to popular modern day Halloween kind of stuff. Here's the Four of Cups. I've eaten so much, I'm about to be sick. And then Five of Cups. Oh dear, I have spilled all these cups. Interesting. Six. Here, little child, have a cupcake. Would you trust him? Here's the Seven. Pick your poison, it says. And you know, this is where these context decks give an opportunity to bring in something that hasn't really been described in the standard. And the idea of pick your poison, you know, the standard Seven of Cups has all kinds of things in the cups, like, you know, wealth and riches and just, you know, a dragon, and so your hopes and fears. And pick your poison, gosh, I could do a whole Buddhist lecture here. It really is about the aversion and attachment kind of thing. You know, the riches are things we hope for. The dragon is something we fear. Both of those are poisonous to our system that keep us from being in the now. Okay, I love it. Eight of Cups. Ha! 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he's walking towards this big cup. We don't really get the idea of walking away. I guess, okay. I'm not going to go in too far. Here's the 9, the Wish card. Look at the mermaid's tail. I love that you can see where it separates. And look at the different colors of smoke coming out. That's pretty cool. Here's the 10. Oh, Wizard of Oz, happy family. And look at the flying monkeys hanging out of the trees. Those are great. Here's the Page with the little fishy leaping out of the cup. Here's the Knight. And look at how this is taped to the wall. Little details like that are awesome. And here's the Queen. She's looking kind of dead. And then the King is the creature from the Black Lagoon. The Ace of Swords. Ta-da! Here's the 2. Do we have a blindfold? I think we do. It's a mask, okay. Duh. 3. Ooh, somebody got their pumpkin smashed. That's a good image for 3 of Swords. Here's the 4. The 5. So like I said, having a foundation in the standard tarot is really going to serve you here. The 5 of Swords, abuse of power. Yep, somebody's being a bully. Somebody wants it all, and this little kid is suffering. Poor little yellow crayon. This is a Buffy reference. Any Buffy fans out there agree? Here's the 6 of Swords. There's the boat on the water. Getting ready to go through a amusement park ride or haunted house ride. Here's the 7 of Swords, the thief. Look at the toilet paper. So has this guy been out TPing and causing damage? The 8. Don't need a blindfold when you're all wrapped up. Here's the 9. Oh. And the 10. Gotcha. The page. The knight. Yikes. So actually somebody coming in to do some mischief or dressed like a ninja. Here's the queen. I love the frosty colors here. And the king. Ah, the scream. Now the Ace of Pentacles. The pumpkin is a great image there. The 2. The 3. Collaboration, that's really well shown there. The 4, yes. I am king of the pumpkin patch. I want them all. Here's the 5. So we've got, that's really interesting that they're coming to trick or treat. And this house, it's like somebody's in there because the upper rooms are lit, but the lower is dark. So that kind of tells kids you're not getting anything here. Wow. Well thought out. Here's the 6. Look at him. I'm getting some, you're not. So that's interesting because, sorry, it kind of flies in the face of that idea of sharing. This person's sharing, but this one's not. The 7. Review, remembrance, going back to the past, I guess. That's kind of interesting because the 6 of Cups is what we generally think about as far as that goes. Look at the 6 of Cups here. I mean, we do have, I kind of looked at that as the 6 of Pentacles when it came up. Because here we don't really get an idea of the past or memories. And here we don't get an idea of charity or sharing what we have. They kind of are opposite. Very interesting. That's the first kind of real anomaly I've seen. Here's the 8. There's Cruella. And her, look at all the kids dressed as Dalmatians. That's brilliant. And then we have the 9. There's our Elvira. Isn't she glorious? Here's the 10. The monsters. So we've made allusions to a lot of pop culture stuff that I appreciate a whole bunch. And then here's the Page of Pentacles. What does it say? Sherbet brains. And that's not how you spell sherbet. Okay. 3. What? Okay. I'm confused. We have, all right, Ace 2. This deck has an extra 3 of Pentacles in it. Isn't that interesting? Wow. All right, we'll set that one aside. Here's the Knight of Pentacles. Freaking weird. Queen of Pentacles. I wonder if somebody got a deck without one. That's a bummer. Here's the Queen of Pentacles, and here's the King. So again, you have to have that foundation, because looking at this King of Pentacles, would you get that idea of abundance and, you know, authority? Not really. All right. See you zoomed out. Now let's light a charcoal. and do a blessing before I do a reading for Roxanne. She did not send me a question, but while this is trying to light, I will tell you that if you hit that wish list link below and you choose to send me a deck off of that list, I think you can game the system to send me something that's not on that list. Like if you put one of the ones that is on the list on and get it to where you're going to send it and then take, I don't know. Anyway, I think you can game it and send me something that's not on the list. But if you send me something off that list, I will read for you on my unboxing. Let's start with a sage smoke cleanse. I am so out of sage. This is like the last of it here. But I have cedar and other things to cleanse with too. So, by air and fire, may you be purified and charged. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. By the Spirit, may you be connected to the collective unconscious, the place where all the information lives. Let's welcome guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. Thank you for being here. I offer you fresh water, and I offer you the fire of Azrael. And I offer that to the deck too, that the spirit of divination come alive. It's alive. Oh. We haven't yet started watching our classic movies this year. We found some classic movie channels, and in the last couple of years, my husband and I have watched a whole bunch of stuff like The Creature from the Black Lagoon that I'd never Seen. Night of the Living Dead, stuff like that. Excellent stuff. Bride of Frankenstein. Awesome. Let's see how she shuffles. I expect it to go well. Yes. This is standard cardstock, and as I say over and over and over again, why everybody doesn't use this cardstock, I just don't know. I just don't know. I suppose there are people that really like heavy cards, but how do you shuffle them? Okay, let's do a cut and then another riffle. And I am going to ask for a message for Roxanne in particular. And we always ask, you know, how do we go from mere survival into thrival? But I am open to any message that wants to come through to Roxanne, whatever information she needs. I'm going to cut again, riffle again. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. And we have 3. I was going to take 3. Oh, okay. This looks like a good. We have 2 majors and a minor. I'm going to go intuitively first, and then I'll read from the book. So, 5 of Swords in the middle is about that abuse of power. Somebody just going overboard with their entitlement. The moon on one side, of course, we have mystery. We have things that are unclear. We have deception. We have the unconscious. And over here we have the Hanged Man. So we're talking about something that isn't clear, something that is unknown, that is causing a power struggle, or that's behind a power struggle. Somebody just going beyond their boundaries, bashing your boundary, causing you some grief. The Hanged Man says maybe we look at it from a different perspective. And instead of, a lot of times when the 5 of Swords comes up, I interpret that as a win-lose mindset, that someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. And I think the Hanged Man here can be saying, how do we shift this from win-lose to win-win? How do you gain leverage in a situation like this? And even like the ninja skills of using someone else's momentum against them. Let's go to the book. Okay, so we see this glorious, huge image. You know, with books like this, I probably should just go through the book instead of zooming in on the deck. Of course, a moon goddess is inviting us to bob for apples. With the moon, when you go for the good stuff, you face the waters of the unknown. Who knows what else might be in that tub? Do you really want to risk it? I mean, can you imagine in the day of COVID bobbing for apples? People like blowing snot underwater. Oh, and then you eat. Oh, I have never bobbed for apples in my life. Imagine why. Okay. Um, do you really want to risk it? And those dogs, they look friendly, but also a little eerie. Do they look eerie? They kind of mirror. Oh, they are mirror images of each other, like color wise. They're like yin yang dogs. It would probably be tasteless to make a joke about your moon showing while your face is submerged. Talk about vulnerable, which is scary and which is what Halloween is all about. When this card shows up, you may not know which way is up. The moon is beguiling, mysterious, and beautiful, but a lot of the time it is super hard to see clearly in the moonlight. The world is dark and the shadows are deeper darkness, and who knows what is hiding in them. Here's some clarity. Right now, you do not know everything that you need to know. Important information is hidden, or someone might be withholding it. Now we get to the heart of the meaning of the card outside of the context, and I really appreciate that writing, Barbara. The moon has phases, so this is just a phase. If you can wait or find a clear path to follow, do so. If not, proceed with caution. The keywords are secrets, illusion, deception, mystery, confusion, dreams, nightmares, visions. The reversed is insomnia, trouble sleeping, irrationality, and danger. So, as always, great writing from Barbara Moore. Five of Swords. Our fairy princess is victorious. Her valor has allowed her to steal the swords from the orc and the crayon. The bards shall sing songs about her. At least that's how she sees things right now. Don't you think, though, that the orc and the crayon feel differently? You can almost see that orc thinking you won the battle, but the war isn't over. Fairy princess had better watch her back. This is wonderful because it really does bring in the idea of when you go over the top and you abuse your power, there are consequences. When this card comes up, be very careful about how you approach success. There might be an easy path to victory, but think it through. Make sure you're not creating enemies or leaving existing ones with weapons they can use on you later. Be very sure that what you are getting is worth what you are paying. This is excellent. On the other hand, if you are the apparent loser in the situation, see what is salvageable that can be used later. Look for potential allies and tools that can turn the tide in the future. This card brings choppy waters and danger. Navigate carefully. The keywords are victory, aggression, poor sportsmanship, and defeat. Pyrrhic victory. I'll have to look that up. Pyrrhic. I think it's like from Roman times or something. Dishonor, dangerous enemies. So we need to be clear about our motivations and our method as well. So we can have a strong motivation to be the victor, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if our methods, this is a card about the means not necessarily, or the end not necessarily justifying the means. So be aware of how you're getting where you want to go, because you don't know everything there is to know, and you need to be aware that you don't know so that you can move more carefully and not just have victory in your sights. Now let's look at the Hanged Man. Interesting that on the cards we have Roman numerals and in the book we have Arabic numerals. The family is ready early for trick-or-treating. Twilight is such a glorious, magical in-between time. For now, the kiddos get some undivided attention and the vampire gets a new perspective on the world. Letting go of the phone for a while is a small price to pay for such treasured moments. That's an interesting layer. When this card shows up, be prepared to be swept off your feet, not by a romance, but by a revelation. You might find yourself suddenly looking at the world from a different point of view that allows you to shed some things and embrace new things. And that's a really interesting take on the Hanged Man, because generally we think about willingly changing your point of view, making an effort to see something from a different perspective. But this is saying something may happen that changes your perspective that you do not initiate. Very interesting. Maybe that phone you've been staring at all day no longer feeds your soul. You look up or upside down and see there is something that will satisfy you in a real way. It feels like a sacrifice to let go of some comforting behavior, and that is part of the Hanged Man experience. You make room for something of even greater value. Perhaps you won't be swept up, though. Maybe you will have to climb a tree and hang yourself. Not an easy thing, but you can manage it. That's an interesting thing. Okay. Keywords: letting go, sacrifice, surrender, delay, restraint, detachment, different points of view, enlightenment. Wonderful keywords for these. Reversed is limbo, martyrdom, indecision, self-sabotage, punishment, imprisonment, and treason. Wow. Okay, so it really is about changing perspective, that there's something you're not aware of right now, and whoever's swinging a big sword isn't aware of what the consequences might bring, and those consequences may give a pretty profound change in perspective. Let's see what else we get here. Here's the Nine of Cups. I'm just going to go for keywords, although the writing is just so fabulous. So I turned right to it. So she really wanted to come out here. Our mermaid doesn't mind that she can't move around. Why would she want to leave her comfortable spot? Yes, because she'd be hopping. She's perfectly happy where she is with everything she wants: a spectacular chaise lounge, moody lighting, and enough drinks to get her through the party with some to share. Within minutes, she'll be surrounded by people drawn by her happiness. When this card comes up, you get one free wish. There's no guarantee on that wish, but in the old days, this was known as the wish card. What it really means is that you're perfectly content with what you have, particularly in terms of relationships of all sorts. You're at ease with feelings and can share them with others in a healthy way. In short, you feel fulfilled and satisfied, so much so that you don't really need that wish, as it seems all of yours have been granted. If there's any advice here, it is to share your good fortune with others. Wishes fulfilled: contentment, satisfaction, hospitality, sensuality, happiness. So between the moon and the abuse of power here, maybe there's an illusion that I don't have everything I need, that I have to fight for what I need. And the Nine of Cups here is calling you to recognize what you already have, recognize how your wishes are already fulfilled. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Good. I'm glad this came up because I was curious about him. I read a little bit. Generally, we know what kind of candy we have based on the wrapper. Life is not always labeled clearly. Luck of the draw. When this card comes up, be grateful because you're in for some good luck. In some ways, it is just that simple. So the wish card and the Wheel of Fortune right next to each other says this situation is getting ready to change. But what you need to do here is concentrate on the highest and best outcome. How do you want this to come out for the highest good of all concerned? That's always my blanket spiritual disclaimer. In keeping with each one's personal will and karma, for the highest good of all concerned, right? And then things change. You didn't do anything to earn it or make it happen. The only advice is common sense. You have a lucky break, make good use of it. If you aren't into luck, you can read it as a sign that things are going to change. And that's how I generally interpret the Wheel of Fortune: is it's time for the situation to change. It's organic change, seasonal change, inevitable change, right? Judgment's a little more inevitable, but this really, you can't stop the seasons from changing. And that's what the Wheel of Fortune says. Everything changes in its own time. The change might be positive if you're at the bottom of the wheel, or negative if you're at the top, since there's only one way to go from there. If you want to get philosophical about it, you might consider that good luck isn't random. It's a gift from fate, or possibly the fates, to help you move toward your destiny. Fortune, chance, opportunity, destiny, fate, good luck, change, annual event. The reversed is bad luck, misfortune, failure, unexpected setback, reversal, delay. This is one card where I really feel like, since I don't generally shuffle reverses into my deck, it would be great to have two of these and one with the reverse meaning. But it can be determined good or bad luck based on surrounding cards. And with the wish card right before it, it says you really are about to get what you need. You're about to come into your own. And the bottom card here, we have Six of Swords. Interesting how the two central cards have been swords. So abuse of power. And then we've got the one about moving through troubled waters. A spooky being with a big scythe puts you in a boat and invites you to float into the mouth of a monster. What could go wrong? Being scared is all part of the fun on Halloween. There's something so exciting about knowing you're going to be frightened and yet knowing that you're safe, or at least you hope you will be safe. Did you have to sign a waiver to get in that boat? When this card comes up, you're on your way to safety. Whatever troubles you've been trying to overcome, whatever problems you've been trying to solve, you will soon sail away from them to a safe harbor. What you need to know is that you won't do it alone. You need help. No one likes to rely on others. We all want to be independent. Maybe that's the scariest part of this situation, admitting you need help and graciously accepting it. Try focusing on how good it will make the other person feel to be a hero. Go ahead, take the boat, the hand, whatever is offered. It's not going to kill you. Keywords are escape, assistance, admitting defeat, impossible situation, protection, and shelter. So the impossible situation part might be the only winning option, is to get out of the situation. Protection and shelter. Reversed is choosing a bad situation, delay, worsening situation, and unseen danger. Again, Barbara Moore's writing is impeccable. It's wonderful. But in the context of this reading for you, Roxanne, and we spread this out to everyone generally, it says that you will be moving out of this situation. If you understand that your luck is going to change, and that's based on how you view the situation, it's based on gratitude and your happiness with the rest of life, and even if there's dissatisfaction with this situation, that when you root yourself in happiness and do your magic. I mean, the wish card is always a call to formulate that wish into a vision, infuse it with emotional energy and with protection from your guides and guardians. Generate energy around it, send it off into the universe. That's spell work, right? So you do your spell work around it. This changes your luck and you move out of this situation. Wow. Well, it reads like a dream. Got any doubts? Let me know what you think of this deck. Do you have it? I got nothing more to say. It's very clear. It's very succinct. Like I said, the writing is incredible. The writing absolutely relates to the images in the cards. Barbara Moore runs a pretty tight ship. We didn't look in the back of the book. Let's see here. So we have spreads and the framework for a reading. She gives us Halloween themed spreads. The trick or treat spread is for your costume, how you're approaching the situation. Trick, a challenge or obstacle to overcome. Treat, something that helps the situation. And bag of candy, what you get or the result of the situation. It's just wonderful. I like the way she thinks. The haunted house spread is 6 cards. Number 1 is bats in the belfry, something that seems scary but is actually useful. 2 is skeletons in the closet, something you're hiding either from yourself or others. 3, wailing ghost, something that's haunting you. 4 is crazy poltergeist, a destructive behavior that's damaging you. 5 is suave vampire, something you're attracted to that's sucking your energy. And 6, kindly fairy godmother, a gift or blessing that can help you clear your house of haunted energy. These are brilliant. These are brilliant. Messages from the other side, who you're communicating with, help you determine if you contacted who you intended to, what they're happy about, something they're concerned about, a special message for you. Wonderful. To use this deck to communicate with spirit. on sound. That's fabulous. Gathering the harvest, the seed is what you planted, the fruit, what grew, chaff, what needs to be removed, harvest, the quality of the harvest overall, and festival, how to celebrate your achievements. Then we've got the infamous one-card spread, ubiquitous, I should say. Past, present, future. Present, near future, long-term future, situation, problem, solution, decision, choice 1, choice 2, situation, what to do, what not to do, situation, challenge, and advice. Person 1, relationship, person 2. That's a lot of good 3-card readings there. And then we've got the horseshoe spread. Then we have lots of spreads here. The horseshoe spread, making a choice spread. Spreads with dramatic effect, yes, no, oracle. And then an ancient Celtic myth. Then we have the Celtic cross, as ever. Afterward. So we have just a little bit. A sense of deep fun has bubbled up through the years of the ever-shifting and changing celebration of Halloween. That feeling of joy and discovery has become intermingled with our interest in divination, especially on Halloween, since its very foundation stands on age-old practices of prophecy. We stifle our nervous giggles as we consult the Ouija board, and we escape the revelry of the rest of the party to indulge in a tarot reading in the back room. Finding a healthy balance between the seriousness of the work that we might do with tarot and chuckling a bit is always a good thing, lest we take ourselves too seriously. Always good advice. We should enjoy life and the exploration of it. And Halloween is the time of year when humor and fear delight us in equal doses. I've always found this dichotomy fascinating. Halloween has come to mean a lot to us as adults. It brings out the excitement of all our inner children as we delight in the season's first pumpkins and await the magic and surprises to follow. If you were drawn to this deck, then you know exactly what I mean. We've also experienced the aftermath of oh God, this is too long. Sorry. And this is from Mickey Mueller. Mickey's a witch, author, illustrator, tarot creator, YouTube content creator. She's the author, illustrator of multiple books, including The Witch's Mirror and Llewellyn's Little Book of Halloween. She illustrated the Eclectic Witch's Book of Shadows and Mystical Cats Tarot. Oh, that's where I know that name from. Okay. So there's the afterword from her. And like I said, too long to read it all. But please let me know what you think of this deck. And if you really feel like getting a reading from me, since I don't do personal readings anymore, buy me a deck. I'm happy to do it. All right, you guys, take care. Like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And I will see you next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.